So a little bit of history before I came to his mansion. I guess from about 20 years old and on, I have been using alcohol and drugs in a way that has covered up a lot of pain or fears I've had about myself. And I've had an ongoing back and forth type of relationship with God, wanting to do what is right, then but also wanting to be able to do the things that made me feel good, that took away the fear and a lot of the shame I had. So upon coming here, I'd already been through quite a number of other programs. And I grew up in a Christian home, so going to Christian programs was pretty easy as far as knowing the right answers and what people expected of me, and being able to kind of just go right on through and not having to really bump up against too much conflict. They didn't allow that here. So I would say that the Jesus I knew before coming to his mansion was kind of angry at me. I always viewed him as disappointed in me. And I knew he was supposed to be loving, but I didn't actually feel like he loved me or he liked who I was. And I was a completely broken man, living in shame of all the horrible things I had done. And it just kept snowballing because I just keep using and using to cover up that shame, and more horrible things would happen. I had a lot of pain in my life and a lot of emotional damage from my past that I didn't know how to deal with. I drank heavily and I would use pretty much any substance that would get me high. And I hated who I was. Despite the number of people who told me that they loved me, and whether I knew that they loved me or not, I didn't love myself. I was out of control, and on my own, I couldn't heal the hurt and fix my brokenness. Before I came here, I was at the point I was about to lose my marriage and my family, and I felt that very strongly. And I pretty much considered myself the destroyer of everything good in life. I didn't have very many good things for very long before I destroyed them. But as my time here at his mansion progressed, God started showing me things about myself, lies that I believed, and shame that I was living out of. The Lord also began to reveal himself to me in a way in which I had never experienced him before. I saw a God of love, who I actually felt loved me on a personal level, that he actually liked me and accepts who I am. I finally saw a God who wasn't disappointed in me. I saw a God full of grace. I hate cliches, but that's what I saw. So, I saw a God of grace. I finally understood what grace was. A God who doesn't want me to live in my shame. I'm not condemned, and I don't need to live as though I were. Condemnation and shame are not of Christ. But I always put it on myself that I needed to feel those things because of the way I was acting. As I began to experience this Jesus of love on a personal level, my life began to change. I started to begin to understand my need for the Lord and the importance of putting my dependence upon him. The Lord proved himself to me, and I found myself wanting a deeper relationship with him. I found myself wanting to follow him out of love, not out of obligation or what I thought was expected of me. Once I did that, once I decided to follow Jesus and allow him to be the Lord in my life and have control, and to stop playing games and playing the part of being a Christian or believing Jesus to be somebody he wasn't, and having let go of trying to control it all myself, he completely changed my heart, my views on life, my beliefs, my priorities, and the things I choose to love. I have a freedom that I thought was only true in fairy tales. I have a relationship with my wife that is growing more and more. The way I've learned to relate to others has dramatically improved my other relationships as well. The Lord has not merely restored what I had lost, but has given me back way more than I ever had in the first place. He has placed in me a desire to serve him and has continued to cause growth in all areas of my life. The truth of who the Lord really is has been the thing that has changed me. To see how much he loves me and that he actually likes me has made me feel so loved and accepted. I love the Lord, and he is who I want to serve with my life. So I guess, for one out for Tim Keller, I have been supernaturally changed. I'm not just morally restrained. I love that. I want to thank the staff, the SLs who are here, put up with a lot in love throughout the whole entire thing. I'm going to close with a verse, a few verses. When I was in Teen Challenge a few years back, my mom sent this to me in a letter she wrote, and it's been one of my favorite verses ever since. It means a lot more to me now than it used to. It's Lamentations 3:19 through 25. Remember my affliction and my wanderings, the wormwood and the gall. My soul continually remembers it and is bowed down within me. But this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him.